Hi, it's Beezy, and I'm doing a rambling by, I'm not sure which body of water this is. Big body of water. Not quite the ocean, and not quite a bay. And I don't know which one this is called. Anyways, I'm sitting here rambling by it, and puppies are playing, and I guess in the moment is what I'm nudged to play with. And I've been spending more and more time in the moment. By choice, by necessity, by flow of circumstances, by events unfolding. So, and it's a really wonderful place to be because it captures your attention, especially when it's capturing your attention and you may not be, sometimes you sit down and you're meditating or you're contemplating or you're just enjoying a pretty view or relaxing. Maybe you've worked all day and running around and you come back and you're just sitting down for a moment relaxing. And sometimes you're so connected to life, or life has so much of your attention that you're connected, that it pulls you, draws you into the moment. Because something's happening fast and coming at you, and it's a really good time to be in the moment. And as those moments come more and more and more, or I think for me a better way to say it, as life captures your attention of what is right in the moment, right in front of you, right being with you, you're being asked to be with it, and it's unfolding, that begins to be your way of flowing through it. And for me, I've been on an initiation, perhaps, of life being so so right in front of me, and the only choices that are available or that matter or that are in my scope are right in front of me. And so being present is absolutely the only route or option that I have. And then those moments, that were grabbing me go away and something else. But I bring that as a focus because that was my initiation in the last bunch of time to not only be drawn into the moment, be asked by all of me to be in the moment, by having it be my own initiative and my own intention. Anyways, all those things seem to coalesce and hold into each other. And I am absolutely so glad that's the case. And I wouldn't trade any of the riveting moments at the beginning of the initiation that pulled me in that way. Why? Because puppies are playing. Why? Because that's our natural state of being, because that's where the magic happens, because that's where only everything happens, and it's the only place we can shift and change and activate and draw to us, or say, well, release that from us. And so much time of activity or life or whatever is is maybe doing what needs to be done. So you could say right in that moment, well, I'm in the moment because I'm doing what needs to be done, but we're not in the moment. We're not present. We're either wishing it away or thinking how we're going to get through it, or just trying to think back to instances just very recently that have occurred. And anyway, so I would have, if you'd asked me, I don't know, 2-3 months ago, did I spend an awful lot of my time, my day, my moments in the moment? I would have said yes, absolutely. Being present. And I think to some extent I was, certainly more than a lot of the beings, okay, 99 and 9/10% of the beings that were around me, working around me, living around me, maybe even connection virtually around me, or certainly if I went shopping, or grocery shopping or whatever. But I wasn't really interfacing fully 100% in the moment. And it's been such an eye-opening, delicious experience, revelation, wake up, that was the case for me. And to switch that over the last, since I left the ranch, by acquiescence, by grabbing my attention, by intention, by my focus, by organically having all of me come into that alignment. It's changed everything. So let me see if I can describe. Some may already be feeling what I'm talking about, but when you're in the moment, so and connected to it and present to it, and that life force between you and the moment, so your own life force, everything going on within your bodily sphere and all that goes on in all of your bodies, mental, emotional, electromagnetic, etheric, galactic, universal, and so forth. And whatever the moment, whatever is occurring in the moment, whatever is presenting, unfolding, enrapturing you in the moment, and we can add in, one's, your perceived goodness of it, badness of it, slowness of it, fastness of it. All right, enough of it, this moment of it, whatever that is. So whatever it is, but in that moment when all of you, when you have, or when all of you grabs you and says, hey, come on, we're going to actually see and experience what it means to be present in the moment, in this moment, in connection, subject to one another with whatever is occurring in this moment. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And we're not going to stop. Ever. Again. And again, a bunch of time ago, I would have said, yeah, I do that most of the time. And yes, to some level, perhaps on an intellectual exercise level, maybe a little bit more than that, I did do that pretty much all the time. But not to the level that I'm speaking about now, that I have that all of me has pulled me into, that all of me now experiences, flows with now. And a couple moments here and there I go unconscious, or go back to the old way I used to do it, which I thought was the full way of doing it. And so what happens, what I've been experiencing, what's unfolding is, well, I can't really explain any other way from a linear terms that it's in high definition. So everything is super focused. Everything is, I guess if it's a term, you know, something that's unfolding that's maybe not quite what you want, it's more granular. It's vivid. It's has a pulse and a beat, not only all of your pulse and your beat, but the moment, what's occurring, your connectivity to it, your interface of it, perhaps I'm interfacing with all of the vibrational aspects, flow, signatures, nuances, all the different color variations, all of the different currents of flow, whether it's the temperatures or the colors or the light or people's energies or people's what they're emitting. It's like it's beautiful, and it's wondrous, and it's the only way that I choose ever at all from now on in anything, any moment, anywhere, no matter what it is, to be my starting point, my middle point, my flow through point. So I'll give one. I don't know if most people will be familiar with this, so maybe hey, leave it. I don't know what that is, but leave it. I was going to use the analogy of when I shoot with my big camera. I shoot in raw mode. I've talked about this in lots of conversations before. So I can set it in its raw mode, and that means that the sensors in the camera take in everything. So the files each image files are quite large. And a lot of people don't shoot that way because it takes up a lot of space and they have to keep changing their card or downloading stuff, whatever. But when you shoot in raw mode, nothing is filtered out. All of the mechanics and of the sensors, the sensory array of the camera are capturing all of the data on every light spectrum, color spectrum, frequency spectrum, ultraviolet spectrum, all of those spectrums. Movement, clarity, noise, in there. And the reason I do that, because I wanted to get as close, and this will sound funny to someone who doesn't take a lot of photographs that they're actually looking at, but a camera, we look at a scene and it's magnificent, and the colors and everything is there, and we say, oh, we want to take a picture, we're going to take a picture of it. But the camera only takes just a tiny slice of it. One, depending on the capability of the camera. Two, the settings between RAW and a JPEG format. And also just because of the very nature of it. Because the very nature of our sensory array and the capability and the capturing, being in sync with ability of us and our sensory array to capture it is unmatched by anything else in the multiverses. That goes for all beings, but particularly what I'm coming to learn more about and be tutored more about and have direct experience of knowing more about for human beings, because of the conglomeration we are of beings as they seeded this world, and for the living library existence that was originally to be here. And so we're unique in that aspect of our capabilities. That's just one way that we're unique. So that either makes a little bit of sense to some people or not at all. But anyways, for me, that's a beginning of a way to just start to describe in more detail what I'm experiencing, what I mean by being present in each moment fully, where there is actually a syncing up, a lining up, a connection, a match. All of each moment goes like this with all of me, all of my being, my multidimensional being, and the physical linear being. So all the molecules of the fragrance of a flower goes like this with all of me. The color of something, the currents of the wind or the breeze, or the sound and the smell of the water here, and all of that comes. It's okay. This isn't you wake up sometimes and you're sitting down and your foot's asleep, and all of a sudden it's all prickly, like it's coming back to life. So that's to get your attention, but in a very delicious way, in a very enriching way, even if something may be an intense situation that you're perceived as not your cup of tea. All of your beingness is connecting with all of whatever it is that is transpiring in that moment. The wind, the breeze is kissing my face. I am the breeze. I am me having a conversation with you, fully present with you, tuning into individuals that are already in vibrational form, connecting with this energetic envelope that I'm creating, that I was nudged to sit down and do as I ramble here. And so I am one, all, and my singularity, live in action in each moment, completely present to it. Which makes the full immersion experience totally different, totally amazing, unprecedented in my experience of it, and I've been paying attention and noticing it for a while, decades. But and even with all of that, I have a knowing that it's still a fraction of what we're all just about to step into and experience and be our normal way. It's more than even just animals in all of their sensing capabilities. They're like the dog's hearing is much better than mine. Their scent and the way that they can process all the scent on if I just took a section of sand, maybe 500 feet by 200 feet here, and they could distinguish one specific molecule, a molecule of scent on one particular grain of sand, and they could find that one. That's how good they are. But all of that is changing for all of us, all beings. And when you notice yourself, and I think if people would stop for a moment and listen or tune back in, they realize that by cosmic alignment, everyone is starting to do this anyways. It's just whether or not they're focusing enough to notice it, to feel it. But when you start, with you for the first time, or maybe something about this conversation and sharing my experiences, whatever it is, think, well, let me try that. Oh, yeah, that happened the other day. Whatever it is. And now you start to welcome it, converse with it, reach out and hug this experience, this ability, capability, superpower to you, and intentionally always go for that. It changes everything. And one of the coolest things, well, there's so many cool things, but one of the coolest things that it changes is the ease with which things start to line up for you. And things start to be brought more to you that are in the same connectivity, that same match to holding. So it's akin to a vibrational frequency match, but it's on a high definition fully immersive experience, whether you're perceiving it as good or bad. So it's a really great way to not be sloppy with what I'm feeling or thinking about, or giving my attention to, or giving my energy to, or a combination of all of those things. Because then I get these amazing, fantastical experiences where I'm fully connected, and all those little, pricklies, when, like I was talking about, when your foot is asleep, they're right there. And my perception of this particular experience is not cool. But boy, is it exciting, because it's immersive. So it's I'm just, as I'm talking, I'm feeling into some beings who are here in this energetic envelope with me, and all of the parts of what I'm fully connected to now. And without touching the sand with my fingers, I can feel the sand. Especially if I focus for a moment in this scene set, in what is unfolding right here. Don't touch the camera. I can feel the salt on me from the wet dog that just wiggled by. And then I can go back to just being whole with all of it. No, I'm in no way yet in mastery with me, with it, with this ability, but I sure am appreciating and enjoying all of it, even the super spicy moments. Because hey, if you're gonna have a moment, you might as well get all of the richness and deliciousness of it. And same goes for the quiet moments, and the sublimely peaceful and ease moments. And same goes for the just adventurous moments, or the fun moments of watching the dogs play, or learning something new, or having a conversation with someone who calls you up and says, hey, whatever it is. This is what we all have always been, but it's coming online, if that's it's a very constricted way to describe it, but it's coming online for all of us. It's in the air, it's in the energy, it's in the very fabric of ourselves and nature and all that is. It's actually just comes to me now. It's part of its causation, part of its supportingness, part of its facilitation for this really coming on in full throttle, like all of existence. I don't know, high definition broadband is coming in all of us, is because the state of the unwinding and unbindingness of the old false construct, and the state of the new vibrational landscape anchored in, locking in fully, is at such a moment, such a completionness and becomingness, so the old is winding in. It's at such a state and in such a beautiful locking, because more and more hearts are opening in all of existence. That is why at this moment this is becoming very evident and very easy and cosmically delicious to play with. So I'm off to do that, do some work, and explore more of it. And it's fun to watch. I noticed that Rose is very interesting. She does this a lot now, and it's very, very cool to connect with her as she's doing it, because I can get sensing and seeing through her eyes, through her sensory, what she's experiencing. The dogs as well, and anything I come into contact with. I haven't found anything that rebuffs me from this yet. Different degrees, different depths of connectedness.